considering taking this right here. Now we could trade back up into that fair value gap, which is fair game.
Order submitted.
But I do like the idea of this consolidation range being respected here. We do have a 30-minute inversion up here. We did not test back into that range, but we are spooling back down towards this new day opening gap, right? So I'm looking to fill that range and take that Asia low. And then possibly trade lower. So we'll see. Sometimes a little scary having a fair value gap right off the open like this because you can see it invert. If we end up inverting that fair value gap, then I'll just close the trade there because we probably will trade back towards this inversion or possibly all-time highs again. But yeah, kind of a breakout trade right off the open. You know, you got that fair value gap and prices spooling towards that new day opening gap in the Asia low. So just taking that trade based off that. This being the draw on liquidity. And then honestly, when we meet this target, I'll probably go break even and see if we can reach for the Asia low and some of these sell side liquidity yesterday from the PM session. Because this could be like a little breakaway fair value gap, right? Just tighten my stop there, mitigate my risk a little bit. Got about half risk on the table right now. So still looking at this new day opening gap. We did respect this fair value gap here on the 1 minute time frame. See if we continue to respect it or if it wants to invert. Inversion would not be ideal here with this candlestick, this 945 candlestick. Also got 50 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. Do not want to see this close as a rejection. So ES did gap fill there. ES did fill that gap, but we still got that Asia low that's on the table. Yeah, I got a lot of targets down here, honestly.
Connection lost.
A lot of targets. Got a lot of low resistance liquidity down here, so I think it's pretty smooth sailing. But the thing is, we are the day before FOMC, so it's a matter of how far price wants to run right now. If we're going to have a clean move, which we just did have a big spike down. Didn't quite get that new day opening gap fill. But still looking for price to trade lower. There's that new day opening gap getting filled right there, so we will go break even. See if we can reach a little bit further into these equal lows down here. And then possibly the sell side liquidity down here. So we already moved about 300 points. That's interesting there. Exited and back to trading micros. Did you catch a short there, Frank? A short into the Asia low. Yeah, that might be all price gives us, unfortunately. We'll see. This fair value got past the hold on the 1 minute time frame. We're trading back up into it right now. I do want to squeeze a little bit more risk to reward out of this. I think we have clean targets down here. Yeah, the equilibrium. Yeah, we had a huge run on price, right? After that manipulation leg. I could definitely see price trading back into this equilibrium today, like you were saying. Some of the sell side liquidity. Kind of what I was looking for yesterday, honestly, during the AM session was, price to trade back into this range a little bit, but yeah, the sell side liquidity looks pretty good though, I would say. Would like to enter again, but I don't really want to have a lot more risk on the table. Kind of want to enter here. Another contract and keep my stop at break even on 3 contracts. We do have that 10 a.m. candle coming in shortly. So if I entered again, my break even would be basically at that candle. All right, so those equal lows getting tagged right there in that Asia low. We could see a reaction off of this level. Got the 10 a.m. candle opening up in 2 minutes. Ideally would like to see price continue to spool. But we just inverted this 4-hour fair value gap. We're about to invert this 4-hour fair value gap. So price could come up and retest this fair value gap unless it wants to continue to spool down towards that sell side liquidity. But yeah, honestly, as of now, I don't know. That would have been a pretty good take profit point. That was my initial initial take profit there was that new day opening gap and that Asia low. However, I kind of got in on this trade a little late. I did want to see that manipulation above here, get that entry there and ride that down to the new day opening gap. I think it would have been a lot better. But getting in on this trade on a little pullback instead. And here is where we might see a little consolidation at the 10 a.m. candle before continuing down, but we shall see what happens here. So we got 20 seconds until that candle closes. I like how we balance this price range here on the 5-minute. I like how we're accumulating here. We just had that manipulation. Yeah, I think I'm going to send another contract here.
Order filled.
And then just keep my stop at break even here. So scaled in pretty heavy. Don't really mind if this goes break even. There wasn't a lot of reward on the table just by taking profit at that Asia low. So just want to see continuation now. And if we don't get that, then that's fine. And at least we're break even. My thought process is too, if we start trading back above this area and we invert this fair value gap, I don't really want to be in the trade anyway because we've already taken that Asia low. We've already hit a target. So now if price wants to come back and change in the state and maybe invert a fair value gap, it might be a sign that we're actually trading higher at that point. So I really don't mind scaling in another contract and just going break even, right? And we got ES just completely dumping. Yeah, ES looks really good. NQ just needs to follow suit here and break that low. I think once we break that low, it might be smooth sailing to some of these lows here, or we can take profit. But right now we're just chilling, right? We're at break even, so be chilling. Not bad price action though. Not bad price action pre FOMC. I know we got FOMC tomorrow, but not too upset with the current price action. We'll see. Yes, just keeps spooling down. See what this equilibrium is. Yep, right at that sell side liquidity. All right, let's see it. Ball's in your court, NQ. Let's see it. Accumulating pretty hard on the 1 minute time frame, right? Price really wants to figure out where it wants to go after filling this gap. But yeah, like I said, I really wanted to see price come back above this manipulation range. That would have gave me the best fill. So at this point, price starts spooling down towards the target. It's chasing price just a little bit, right? Because we're already trading below the midnight open, right? I wanted to get my fill above the midnight open up here, right? So maybe on this pullback could have been good. But, price already started moving towards that Asia low. That was a good low hanging fruit target. But I think with the fill that I had right here, you got to squeeze a little bit more if your stops are way above here. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my logic at not taking the profit at the new day opening gap in that Asia low is the risk to reward just need to be a little bit bigger. So if I was going to engage on this trade, then I feel like maybe I need to be taking profit down in this range. Right. But yeah, this was a really good take profit point. It's just, like I said, the risk to reward's kind of meh. But who knows? Maybe it's just better to take that. Maybe it's just better to take that small win there instead. All right, so price is trading pretty heavily into that fair value gap now. It looks like we might be hitting break even. So you got the 1 minute fair value gap here. At this point, it looks like it might want to invert. Yeah, it'd be pretty crazy if price wants to respect the low of that 15-minute candle and completely reverses here and starts taking out the lows again. That would be pretty crazy because we were 1 point away from break even. So if we start taking out these lows, it'd be pretty crazy. Pretty crazy for sure. But yeah, like I mentioned yesterday, I mean, my main focus whenever I'm going to come to the market every single day is where can I catch 100 points? You know, where can I catch 100 points in the market between, 9:30 and 11 a.m.? Because if you look at the market every day, you'll see it move at least 100 points between 9:30 and 11 a.m. towards a draw on liquidity. So where can I get in to be, on the draw? And before 11 a.m., if I'm expecting price, from 9:30 to 11 to move 400 points, where can we look, right? Now we had price completely reverse 1 point away from that break even. It looks like we're now on the way down again. Respected that fair value gap, so stop loss was in a really good spot there. Now if we break the low of that 5-minute candle, I would say it's starting to look really good, right? Now we're starting to see that 15-minute candle flip, breaking the previous low. Might want to scale in one more time. Stops would be above that high still. So I'm going to scale in another time here.
Order filled.
Have my stop loss still at break even. Because I don't want to see this high getting ran now after we've broken the low. If we run this high, then I would expect price to start coming back for this inversion. But yeah, like I said, we broke the low after accumulating like this. Don't want to break the high. Yeah, it looks like price might want to be range bound here. Might get hit at break even. Yeah, it looks like this next candle might want to slingshot up and take that. Yeah, we're going range bound. Right at the low there.
Order filled.
So there's break even getting hit. Not really mad about that. I got to scale in that trade pretty heavily. So could have been a really good trade if we got some follow through there, but it's all good. We had our first entry there. But yeah, not too mad about it. Thing is, like I said, this was the low hanging fruit target here. Um, if I could have got a better fill up here, it definitely would have been the take profit point for me. But it is what it is, right? Now, I do think we still go lower, but let's see. But I don't know. I probably shouldn't push it because tomorrow's FOMC. We're gonna see probably slower price action today and tomorrow. We've already hit my target. We've already hit my target of the new day opening gap and that Asia low. So, it's kind of a toss up where I think price would go right now. We're consolidating. So I do think, with this consolidation, we do end up moving lower towards the sell side liquidity. But at the same time, we might not get much more price action, not much more movement out of price action for the rest of the day with the FOMC tomorrow. But yeah, not a bad setup at all. We traded up into that one standard deviation, had a nice reversal, change in the state of delivery here, 30-minute inversion. And now price just kind of spooled off of that into that new day opening gap and that Asia low. Not bad at all. bad. But yeah, lots of accumulation here. Probably see it for the next 10 minutes, and then price might trade up into this 30-minute fair value gap before trading lower. But yeah, similar situation to yesterday. You know, we had price spool right off the open and then hold. You know, it's been almost an hour now, so price is holding down these levels, and we're consolidating a little bit, so we can expect another leg to the downside, in my opinion, right? Now, price could possibly come up and trade into this inverse fair value gap. That's what we talked about before. And possibly even filling the whole inverse fair value gap, maybe trading up into this range as well. But like I said, I think we still do trade lower. And honestly, this isn't bad here in terms of a entry again, right? But I want to see how this 30-minute candle closes, and then possibly get in on the inverse, or not on the inverse, but on the fair value gap retest. I'm just kind of waiting here and seeing what happens. Hmm. Let's see. Yeah, so that is the current daily low as well. We did just create that current daily low. We got about 5 minutes. 5 minutes until this candle closes. Let's see if we can get that fair value gap. Then look to take that short again. Yeah, I mean, it still looks good to go short. I look at this on the, the hourly time frame, and this still looks good to roll over. Hmm. Yeah, I'm probably looking to take a short in this range. This gives a pretty good fill at the 30-minute open. This gives a good fill. Stops would be basically above the 930 high. And we can target these lows being ran. So we'll see. Got 5 seconds to this 30-minute candle. Let's see if we can get a nice little pullback. Possibly trade up into this 30-minute fair value gap as well. We do have a 15-minute fair value gap up here, so something like this. Could be a breakaway gap here on the 30-minute as well. Just completely negating everything that happened during Asia yesterday. or today. Yes, looks like it wants to take these lows, right? Let's say. Yes, definitely looks like it wants to take those lows. Yeah, 4 hour didn't quite get up into that inverse fair value gap. So I'm curious. Curious if price will trade up into that level. Hmm. Yeah, I still like my risk to be above that fair value gap. Not much of anything on this first 5 minute candle. But actually I will take this trade here. This will be my last attempt. Basically just looking for a continuation, maybe down into that sell side liquidity. Now it's possible we just take this low here and then just fizzle out. But in this next 30 minutes, I am looking for price to break this low now. But yeah, it's also possible that we just consolidate in this range here. And we don't really do much, right? We are the day before FOMC. So it's kind of questionable what price wants to do. What price action is telling me right now is that we did have a nice run at the open. And now we're just consolidating to go a little bit lower. So not a huge risk to reward on the table here. Might look to scale in, but we'll see. Depends on how price starts reacting and how it gets to this low, if it does. Like I said, every day I'm looking for 100 points in the market from 9:30 open till 11. So I still think this trade has some room, right? We've only moved about 80 points. So I am looking for price to move a little bit more and give a little bit more follow through on the second half of this 10 a.m. candle. Hey, Fabio. Fabio. Knock it off. Dogs in the blinds. What are you doing, bud? Hmm. Price action is a little slow, Jofer. Price action is a little slow. We did get that nice initial movement, but yeah, it's the day before FOMC, man. You know, can't expect can't expect anything crazy. You know. You know, it might have been a good idea though. You know, to just be done for the day after we hit that target, since we do have FOMC tomorrow. My only thing against that is that I do think we have a little bit more room to go. I don't see price trading in this range all day, but it's possible. I think this trade takes out this low and gives us an opportunity to go break even. Right? If we take out that low, we get to go break even, and then we have a risk-free trade and we just let it ride for the rest of the day. If it wants to go towards that sell side liquidity, you know, all fine and well, right? But yeah, like I said, we break that low, we get a free trade essentially. But this will be my last attempt for sure. Because if we break that low and we don't run for that sell side liquidity, I don't really want to be a part of it anymore, to be honest. I would rather just, you know, save my capital. But yeah, still got 20 minutes. Still got 20 minutes to 11 a.m. So definitely looking for price to get down here. Ideally, would love to see another expansion like we saw right here in the first 20 minutes of the open. Kind of show up here for the London close macro in about 10 minutes. Gotta use the restroom real quick. Hmm. Yeah, very slow price action. Getting that accumulation there. Just want to see that breakout now. And honestly, the more we accumulate, the more confidence I have in the trade. Um, just because we already had this expansion, that just means that price is just holding pretty solid in this range, and that we probably will get another leg lower. But it's just a matter of how far this leg is going to reach. We do have a lot of targets down here, so I might not target this full range. I might just exit based on time. But yeah, like I've stated before, the longer or the closer we get to 11 a.m., the more I don't really want to be, in trades. But sometimes I will hold a trade all day if I just want to let it ride. All right, so getting another rejection candle on the 15-minute time frame, you can see price is just really rejecting this area. Initial entry still here would have been really good, right? Initial entry would have been pretty heavy in profit right now still. But it's all good. Still just looking at the sell side liquidity down here. Very, very slow. Very slow. Let's see if the 1050 macro brings anything. London close. Yeah, very slow, very choppy now. Ever since 950, we just been chopping around in this range. Nothing clean. Nothing too clean right now. All right, so rolling into the 1050 macro, last 10 minutes here. Pretty boring, not gonna lie. Boring ass price action. All right, boys. Well, I think I'm gonna let this ride and head out of here because price is doing a whole lot of nothing, and I'm looking for another leg to the downside, but when that's gonna happen, not too sure. Not too sure, but I feel like it's bound to happen in the next hour or so. But probably get some food and just kind of monitor this trade lightly. But yeah, take care, guys. I'll be around in the chat. I'll update everybody in the trade ideas or the trade recaps. But yeah, don't push it too much today. We got FOMC tomorrow, so y'all know how it goes. Another boring day of price action, but it's all good. Peace out, fellas. Take care.